Hey folks, thank you again for coming on to Back to Basics for Season 3. Today we're going to speak with Michael. And Michael is a great person that I chatted with on the pre-call. What we discussed is about his creativity, about the way he is, and how he wants to live his life the way he wants it and not in a systematical way. So before we get into all that, we will get to know him better. So why don't we talk to Michael on Back to Basics?
Hi, I'm Michaell Magrutsche. Awareness trumps all. To see that, watch this great show of mine with Girish, Back to Basics. See you there.
How are you folks? My name is Girish. As you know what I said on the intro, today we're going to speak with Michael and we're going to go and find out what Michael is all about. There's one thing that I do know about Michael, that he's very creative in his mind. He wants to know people as they are instead of understanding by reading about that person. Did you know that, when he came on my pre-call before the show, he says, I'm not going to listen to your episode because I want to know you as you when he comes in. And that's what he's all about. So why don't we find out, why does he think that way? And why does he overthink things, or he doesn't? I'll have to figure that out when we get on the call. But why don't we talk to Michael about that? Michael, how are you? And thanks for coming to Back to Basics.
Hi, Girish. Good to see you again. Why am I that way? Go right into it.
Yeah.
On a
Well, before we do that, and I know that you have not listened to the show, but let me understand you first. But before we do that, what does Back to Basic mean to you, Michael?
I think I love it. I think this is what actually caught me to want to be on your show, because the Back to Basics is basically to our human design. Go back to our human design. We are limitless humans. We are species of nature. Yeah, we're still a species, but we don't know. We forgot because we're born in a hospital system. We get baptized system. We go to school a system. We get a job a system. We get married as a system. So we have lost our connection to nature, our identity. We take on limited systems identity that we created. We created systems, and I think Back to Basics is kind of a really good reminder not to go, oh, we go simple in the system, but the basic humanness, to go back to humanness. So we are 8 billion people. Everyone has a different fingerprint. Everybody has a different DNA, and there is no normal.
Yeah.
Because you tell me one system that can define what normal is. They can only define what abnormal is, but everybody is abnormal because we're 8 billion people.
Of course. Michael, thank you again for being here, and thank you again for answering that question. But before we get to the details of that, can we explain to people who Michael is, and then we'll get into and dissect Michael, if that's okay with you. So
okay. So Michael was a sick child, and he didn't fit into the system at all. So basically, because of that, I had to fend for myself, either die or trying to adapt. And I tried to adapt till 50 years old. And but it didn't work. You have to be you. And I had to be myself all the time. I'm so totally self-taught. I have no education. I failed 3 classes because I couldn't, not because I was a rebel or whatever. I couldn't comprehend it. I still can't comprehend paperwork of the taxes or whatever. I can't comprehend it. When you tell me, Michael, you have to pay this and this much taxes because of this, I understand it. And it takes 2 minutes. You tell me, it would take me 10 hours to just figure out, to understand what I have to read. And so my savior was, which I discovered as a tool, which, I mean, I didn't make that, but I discovered that it is actually a tool for humanity, is creation. The creation of your podcast. Whatever people say, it's the best podcast, it's the worst podcast, nobody can take away that you did the podcast. See, that I cannot take away. I can say, oh, it's a horrible podcast. You don't know. And Ganesh, I don't like you, this and this and that. It doesn't matter. Or they can say you're the absolute best. There's never been a better podcast than Girish. It's just the best. But they cannot take away or taint, that you created that your non-physical and physical discuss this and say, okay, and I tweak it. I have a new show. My third season is different. So you keep communicating, because this podcast is an expansion of you, who you are. Every business should be. It shouldn't be about money. Money is I'm not against money. I'm very for money, but I'm saying it shouldn't be about money. If you want to be about money, go into the money business. If I was doing anything in my life about money, I would be a banker. I would be a financial advisor. I would just enjoy playing with money. And most people hate their job, but they have a false hope that they get money at the end, or they get and so they're constantly a mind construct.
Michael, thank you again for that. And I think what I understand, not what you said, but what we have talked earlier during the pre-call, is that I think art comes in your world as a tool to express yourself. Is that correct?
Survive and express and educate. So the creation of art, not the product. The product is like your podcast. You can say it's good, it's bad, whatever. But the process of doing it is giving you so much self-awareness and self-esteem. Also, it makes you be aware. I heard everybody says it's so hard to do a podcast. No problem for me. You know what I mean? But you didn't know that about yourself. If you would have just listened to systems or other people, you would say, I can't even touch a podcast because it's too hard. But you doing it, and all of a sudden you get aware. And once you're aware and say, okay, they said that about, now I want to do a candy factory, right? I have done this. Everybody said you can't do a podcast. Oh, that was easy. So they say a candy factory is hard. I'm going to just do it. I'm doing it. So that cannot be the I hope I can communicate that the power of the exponential knowledge of creation is unbeatable. There's nothing in this world that can beat it. And there's a big difference by saying you got to do this and put this together and you make that right and you push a button or whatever, then actually experiential create something out of nothing.
But Michael, when did you realize that art was a expression for you, or a creation for you to express?
30 years. After 30 years, I did my resume and I saw, oh my God, everything was art. Selling tapes out of my trunk, be a DJ, fashion show producer, advertising, television. And I said, and I got the awareness. I didn't get the accolade. I wasn't like a famous artist at 30. And I said, I guess I'm an artist because the system says I'm an artist, right? I saw, first of all, for me especially, it was my survival. And then I saw that everywhere where I could fit in a system, it was through art creation. And so I got the enlightenment. Till 30, I was like living day by day to just survive. Like a lot of people, young people, it took me longer, but till then I was just like day to day to survive. And when I got aware of this, and that's why I say awareness is trumping everything. Because once you're aware, you don't need to have steps. You don't need to have, first you have to do this, then you have to do this, that. It just change happens automatically. And also you will know that the change is right or not aligned with the awareness. Because once you knew that you were a man, there were a lot of things that you don't have to consider. I'm not saying questioning your manhood or whatever. I'm saying you didn't have a lot of things to consider as a man. And this is how systems work. They classify you, they judge you, whatever. But it's not the same. It's their own awareness, that you are a man,
So thank you again, Michael, for that. Let me ask you this here. there are different colors for different moods and different expressions, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
When someone tells you a color green, what comes
Healing,
in your mind?
healing, 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 healing.
Hmm. How about red?
Fire, energy,
Okay. How about orange?
sensuality, second chakra. I mean, I can translate it into chakras things.
Wait,
Second chakra, creativity, expression, hmm
blue.
creativity.
Blue.
Blue night, night water, cold. But an unbelievable complementary color. I mean, blue with yellow, blue with red. Blue with it's a beautiful complementary color. That
Mm,
makes the other color really stand out.
mm. Thank you again. And what about I don't know, violet?
Violet, in the chakra system is the thing, and I'm not going by I just because people can relate to that. It's the spiritual color. It's the seventh seventh color. It's a spiritual thing. It's a very it's like green.
Hmm.
Where green is in the body. Green is actually, when you look at green, green is yellow and blue. So when you yellow and blue you put together, it becomes green. So it's actually three colors in one.
Hmm.
And violet is the same way. So you are drawn to violet. I see your background is violet. It's but on more in the spiritual. I think it's the spiritual interaction. So
Hmm.
one is the physical alignment more. I'm just speaking out of my thing. This is not science or anything. I
No,
don't remember. I don't have an education.
no.
But
I want people to
yeah,
understand that everyone's thought process when it comes to color is very different. Like for
yeah,
example,
yeah,
I think you mentioned about red. I think most of the people they say red is equal to fire.
yeah,
That's a given. But then there are
yeah,
different definitions for green. I mean, green for some people could be envy, you know, uh,
yeah,
and yellow could be something sunshine, for example,
yeah,
or I'm just giving an example. So
yeah.
thank you again for explaining that.
Okay.
So when you design your art, when you design your fashion or whatever it is, how do you make that mood happen for you, or do you do it for others?
I'm not never do it for others. Never, ever, ever have I done anything for others. I've tried, and when I do that, it's going completely wrong. Because when imagine this, you are with a woman 3 years, really good. You met, you love, everything is your partner is the greatest thing ever. You want to marry her. Do you think you can choose? If I have 10 rings or 5 rings,
Hmm.
could you choose the one that she chooses? Unless she has told you and the rings are really weird and you see there's one, you have no chance. When you go with, I don't know, when you go with your partner and you go shopping, and you can say, okay, I know my spouse wants the likes blue, but there might be a green tire next to it with a yellow thing, and he or she would choose that. You don't know what other people resonate with. You can gauge, obviously. You can gauge somebody is all crazy, or if somebody is very conservative and goes for Ralph Lauren, right?
Hmm.
But you can gauge that. You're not going to go to a Izumiyaki store with somebody that is very conservative. You
Right,
know,
right.
so you can gauge in what category somebody feels, but you cannot choose this is what he takes, or
Hmm.
this is the song he likes, or this is the paintings he likes, or whatever, unless the person has told you, I would die for this painting, for this song,
Mm,
for the whatever,
mm, mm. Michael, thank you again. And during the pre-call and right before this call, you were
yeah,
talking about the senses.
yeah,
Now, how many senses are there? Because we all know there's five, but then I know there's more than that.
yeah.
But
There's
what are
probably, I don't know, I think there's definitely six, and then there's a couple of others too. It's the thing is, we are, we're taken out from systems because they want to do a common denominator, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in order to do a common denominator to make us equal, they say, let us tell you what you like, and so they propagate the falsehood, which is not intentionally, but it should be sunny every day. And Girish, if you and I are not happy, we can buy a Ferrari. They have stuff to sell us to become happy, right? And then, but if they come in a year and said, how are you? You guys bought the Ferrari, right? And you bought the new clothes and whatever. And we say, yeah, we like the Ferrari. Obviously, it's a nice experience or whatever. But we are still not. That doesn't guarantee we are happy or we are fulfilled or anything. It is a jolt, and that's why when you get a new car, it's awesome, and it slowly wanes away, because an outside cannot make you happy. If you're not happy within, if there's people out there, they love old beat up Jeeps. How can that person be happy in an old beat up Jeep? It's the worst car ever.
Right.
It jumps around, but they are happy because they like that. So there is no formula for. So the only thing they can get to you, the systems, is, you should be happy every day, should be sunny every day. If not, we sell you this. And then if you sell it and you say, hey, it didn't happen, well, we can sell you more. And and then if that doesn't happen, it says, Girish, you're a really nice guy, sorry, but there's something wrong with you because everybody else is happy, which is a lie too. And then the other lie is, because you, Girish, did a podcast, means that everybody else can do a podcast. Elon Musk made billions of dollars. You can do it too. And that's wrong, because in nature, the elephant and the ant, they're not equal. They're not equal. They have a part of nature, and they're not a mistake, because nature doesn't make mistakes. So you're born, and that's the proof. Your existence is the proof that you're worthy, because nature wouldn't support anything that isn't worthy to contribute. So it's a complete lie that you can do everything. Number one, you have a place in the world, and it's yours to find. Is it podcasting? Is it washing dishes? Is it doing financial transaction? Is it being a carpenter? Whatever. And you got to find that mostly resonates, is an expansion of you. Your podcast is an expansion of you. So
thank you again for explaining that, and thank you again for that. Before we go to the next the questionnaires for that, there is a new segment that we have started on season 3, which is the rapid fire round.
Go ahead.
So I'll tell you some words and sentences, and you tell me whatever pops in your head. So we'll go from there. The first word, or I should say a couple of words, is called human design. What does that mean to you?
It's a system definition of what we inherently have in us.
Okay. System.
It's a man-made creation, has not given any value, has not given any life to humans or nature, and it is very limited, but it helps us to do logistic stuff. That's what it is, logistics. A system cannot handle a humane problem. It can just be helped. For example, we are on Zoom right now, or StreamYard. It helps us to communicate, but that's what a system should do. It should be supporting human potential, so that you and I actually can communicate as humans with all our senses, right? And lift our human potential, not make the system just work.
Identity.
A system definition of what you are in the system, because in nature, you don't need an ant doesn't need an identity. An elephant doesn't need an identity. He has it. It is what it is. It is what it is. You are Girish. That's it. I'm Michael, right? We are these people, and that's all we are. We cannot be more, or that. We can go and play the Monopoly game, and in the Monopoly game, we can put on little hoods, and we can paint our faces, and get money or have not money, and but in nature, in on this planet, we are visitors, and just observe, be happy, and find how you can contribute to raise human potential.
Adaptation.
Third superpower, adaptation. First superpower is creativity, because look at our world, what we create. It's insane, what we can create. New York was created by humans. Singapore was created by humans. And the second one is communication, that we actually aware that we did that, because I bet you a lot of people that listen, they never thought of it from that way. We created it. Humans created that. Yeah? And then the third superpower is adaptation. Because if you and I don't adapt, we can't have a discourse. We can't have the second superpower of discourse, healthy discourse, if we cannot adapt. So I may use my senses, you use yours, and we dance a dance. And in that dance, we share stories, we can relate, and you and I raise. And with our energetic rise, we help everybody else that listens to become more aware.
The next one is going to be self-taught.
Self-taught is how I can navigate if I can't fit the system. If I can't go, Monopoly, you get paper money to play, but 60% of this earth has to survive with $5.50 a day. So when you have $5.50 a day, you don't have extra money to play Monopoly. That's why you get paper money, play money for free first, so you can start playing the game. And so I hope that makes
it does. The next one is going to be give.
This is a thing that needs to be dissected because give from a system standpoint. That's why I say it's so powerful to compartmentalize system from human relevant. System relevant giving is a good thing. People like that give. You get free things. You get that's how you get in a sales funnel. They give you free things, and then you get more and more. So giving is a lot of, and then nonprofits. So giving is very system defined. Giving is not. I see giving as giving of your uniqueness. So in the human relevance, I see giving as you give all the time, not because if I have no energy, I'm not going to give you. I'm sorry, Girish. If you want something and I'm exhausted, I said, listen, Girish, give me a day, let me recoup, and then we can talk. And in that talk, we lift each other and I give you. So in the human relevance, I would say you always give because you want to give, not because you want to give, because you want to see how much impact you have. I don't get paid for this interview. I'm doing this to be self-aware. First of all, to experience you, which is a reflection of me, and I'm a reflection of you. And then I see how can what can I contribute? What is actually, because if I don't answer, you say, okay, finished. See you later. So the giving is something you constantly do, and you like doing it because it gives you so much. You give, and it gives you. The giving gives you. In system, the giving doesn't give you. It gives you an accolade, a prize, a recommendation, or whatever, but it doesn't give you back. This giving in the human sense, giving of yourself, not that you sacrifice, but you are yourself. You just are yourself, and but that you are yourself, you just give.
The last one is going to be day by day.
Day by day is a very important concept in the human relevance. not in the system. The system relevance works with future, with goals, with hitting the quarter, surpassing the quarter. Uh, Day by day is that you feel success in the human.
Hmm.
Because if you, and fulfillment is that what I told you, after you have intercourse, the feeling right afterwards, which is basically a feedback mechanism of union. You union with another person, and now you feel the world is okay. Just right afterwards, the world is okay. I'm good. Everything is all aligned.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that, in order to find that, if you want to find that without having intercourse with everybody all the time, is that um, you are in the moment, that you are
Hmm.
fully present. And I coined it milk the moment to
Hmm.
artists, because artists always worry that they can't survive, they're wasting all their time,
Hmm.
because the system says, just, do whatever you do. And they hope that they can survive, that they can keep doing that fulfilling thing of creating beautiful
Hmm.
things.
Hmm.
And the moment, I said to all artists, this is one of the most important things I teach artists. I said, milk the moment every time, because you learn. Look at me. I learned everything from creating art and
Hmm.
other humans, but everything from creating art, not from a system.
Hmm. Yep.
Actually, systems squeaked me around.
Yes, yes, yes. The last two, and very quickly,
Go
uh,
ahead,
m-
as many as you want.
Michael.
What the name?
Yeah.
Truth. Michael is for truth, and actually, two L's is more truth than one.
And the one, and the last one is going to be back to basics.
Back to basics. I think I explained that before. Back to basics is coming back to the human, the human design, to what we initially are. Not the human design, that's a system thing, but coming back to the to humanity. And I think you see that everywhere.
Mhm,
You
mhm,
don't want to save nature. You're part of nature. You can't save it, but you can save your part of nature that guarantees your future, of
mhm,
future generations. That when future generations, you can't have the arrogance. So
mhm,
when future generations come and want to visit that planet, like going, you don't leave all the trash and everything in a way. You
mhm,
clean up after yourself, so other people can also enjoy it. And
mhm,
I think that's back to basics, to
mhm,
understand, not that you have to do it as a rule, you have to clean up,
mhm,
but you want to clean up because you have gratitude that you are a part of this beautiful reality of Earth.
mhm. Yeah, thank you so much, Michael, for playing the rapid fire round for season three. Definitely really enjoyed, because I never really thought of these words to be more defined the way you're spelling it out. So thank you again for
Mhm.
that. Before you leave today, let me ask you this one last question. So, humans versus system, why did that concept came into you? I mean,
Oh,
is there something that that you disagreed with, or is there
no,
something that you are going through something?
aware.
And I want people
It's
to
an
understand.
awareness. It's awareness. And I got that from my last book, Smart of Art. I when you when I said, why are 97% of artists poor if it's the highest form of creation, right?
Mm,
We just said Singapore, New York, look at what we created. And why is the highest form, where it's not limited to say, I need to create a high rise, I need to do an iPhone, I need to do uh, it's, and the blindness that we thought, what is the art world? And myself too, I was completely uh, conditioned that the art world is art.
mm,
But what I found out, what the art world is not art. It's the art product,
mm,
and nobody gives anything about the art creation,
mm,
or the artist. I mean, unless the artist is a superstar, Jeff Koons, Damien Hirst, but basically nobody gives anything about the create. Everybody looks at the product.
mm,
And I thought, oh my God, we have systemized art, and
mm,
it's insane. Art isn't creating art. It's just basically, how can you achieve, when you go to school, how can
mm,
I achieve a product that is sellable? So
mm,
it's completely on an economic system. It's
mm,
not like and all the patterning that come before. Oh, Leonardo da Vinci did it this way. Warhol did it this way. Picasso did it this way. No, 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 no. And the history, I can look on Google. I don't need to go to art school for the art history.
mm, mm,
So I'm working on a new education, as a matter of fact, on education and art education,
mm,
and it's about the creation. It's so much power. I
mm,
mean, I think now 130 or something episode of just a quote about art creation in my podcast, The Smart of Art, uh, where you just look, and I tell everybody to do it because it's just 20 seconds. You look at the quote, you look at the question, you answer it for yourself, and then go on with your day.
mm,
It will pop. It's a seed. I'm a seed planter. I'm planting consciousness seeds, and then people can contribute with their mind, with their brain, with their essence, what it means for them.
mm,
And this is how we make a better planet.
mm. Michael, thank you again for answering that question, and thank you again for being here. But before you leave, very quickly, do you have any last words to all my Back to Basic listeners and viewers? And how was your journey on this Back to Basic show today?
Awesome. I love it. I love it. It's very concise. You didn't talk around. You very good questions. Uh, I uh, I think my last words is, if you want to do anything for yourself and humanity, see everything separated into uh, art. Excuse me. Into systems and into human relevance. What is system relevance? For example, your child is sick. That's human relevant. You are not having a job tomorrow is human relevant in what it does to you, but it is system relevant. So when you have to choose, when your child is sick, and you should not feel that you are guilty or anything that you stay with your kid, because your kid needs you. And I can't believe that people leave their kids at home and go to work anyway, or they say, oh, it's just, take care of it and give it to another person. Or when you cut yourself, you got to tend to the wound first, that you can actually be of value in a system. And do you think the person that has a sick child at home is really very effective in the system on that day anyway? So we need to be aware, and the awareness will make us uh, system adapt. It will make systems human adapt, and not human system adapt. I'm sorry, that was really hatched up. Do you want to do this again?
No, no, it's totally fine. Thank you so much, Michael, for
Yeah.
explaining that. And I'm telling you, you explained it really well. And
Okay.
I have to give you some hats off as to what you have done today on this show. I've learned a lot on this show. So thank you again for that,
Yeah.
Michael.
You probably knew all this song. I just pulled it up. You knew all this stuff. Otherwise, you can't learn.
yes,
You
yes.
cannot be. You knew it, but I'm just brought it from a different angle, and that shows you the superpower of awareness.
Mm,
Because if I can, that's why I'm a creativity awareness educator, because I can just tweak it from a different thing, and all of a sudden what you know all of a sudden becomes effective.
mhm. Michael, thank you again for being on Back to
Welcome
Basics, and hopefully you and I will connect in some other
again.
shows, and we will make a Michael 2.0 version with two L's. Thank you again,
Yeah.
Michael.
Thank you, Girish.
So, guys, we spoke with Michael today, and we talked about the basics of nature. We talked about the basics of system versus nature, systems versus humans, right? And it's all about being aware. Have you noticed that what he mentioned is that every color has a different emotion? Now, a child who actually paints something like, for example, a penguin. When I say a penguin, the first thing comes in your mind is black and white because that's what we all think. How about if it is purple and yellow or purple and gray? You will never know. It's all about emotions. Now, as usual, as always, what do we always say at the end of the episode? A quote of the day. That's what it is. So here's a quote of the day from Back to Basics. Art does not reproduce the vision, visible. Rather, it makes visible. Art does not reproduce the visible. It makes visible. Think about what I just said. And it's kind of tongue twisting, but it's kind of true, isn't it? Now, as usual, as always, what do we always say at the end of the episode? Everything in life goes back to basics, and that's what we did today, guys. Guys, take care, God bless, and I will see you next time on Back to Basics. Thank you, guys.
Good. Well, awesome. No problem.
No problem.
Shuffling. I was really shuffling around, but that's why I asked you. Do you want me to say it again? Because
No, you're totally fine. You're totally fine.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Michael, for telling the truth the way it is with 2 L's. I'm gonna use that next time. Michael with 2 L's.
Yeah.
Hi guys, thank you again for tuning in to Back to Basics and listening to the excellent episode that we had today with our guest. You know, with your love and support, we do need you to at least rate our show, review our show, because it does make us stronger day by day, week by week, as I usually say on my episodes. And there are 3 things in this episode that it makes a hit for me, which is the content, the guest, and definitely the host. So guys, take care, God bless, and remember, everything in life goes back to basics, and that's what we did today, guys. Guys, take care, God bless, and see you next time on Back to Basics.